What's up, everybody? It's me, E-Man, from E-Man's Movie Reviews, and welcome back. We are here to talk about episode 1 of season 2 of From. And my goodness, if you have watched season 1, then you already know we don't know nothing. That's right, we don't know nothing about what's going on. But you know what? We got some more. We got some answers, but then again, not really. But we definitely got more questions. Now, if this is your first time joining, I am going to be recapping the episode. I'm going to break it down, and then I'll give you some of my commentary. I'll give you some theories. Towards the end of the video, I will give you my rating as to where I think this whole episode rates on a scale from 1 to 10. And then I'm also going to give you some clues. That's right. I go through this whole thing and I'm going to point out some things that I think we absolutely need to remember and to think about to help solve this huge mystery within this series. So without further ado, let's jump into the episode. We find Sheriff Boyd ringing the town bell while a storm is brewing. His hands start to shake and he wakes up from his dream to find himself back in this enclosed area. This is the same space that he was trapped in after going in the faraway tree in the last season. He tries to climb out, but he has no success. He hears a voice from way above, and the voice is asking him if he's real. Okay, first question I think everybody has is, where the hell is Boyd? I mean, I don't know where exactly he is. I mean, it looks like it's either a chimney or maybe a well. Granted, I didn't see any like fire or anything, and I didn't see any water, so I don't really know exactly where he's at, but it looks like it's one of those two type of places. And of course, like, you know, these faraway trees, they send you anywhere, and we don't know the rhyme or reason behind them or how they work. But last season we saw, and this was in the season finale, we saw Sarah push him into the faraway tree, and this is where he ended up. And by the way, this is very similar to what happened with Victor and Julie during episode 7 when like the colony house craziness was going on. He had just pushed her in and she found herself like somewhere else, and Victor tried to go after her, but you know, people end up in different places. So clearly this is going to be a big mystery as to like, okay, well, if Boyd is here, where is Sarah? That's the question. And who the hell is that voice? Who is talking to him? Is this all in his head? Is he imagining this? Of course, we're going to find out a little later in this episode, so let's get back into it. At the colony house, the light bulbs explode and some shards fly into the residents' eyes. Jade races to get all the equipment he can back into the house. He yells at Donna to tell her that a bus has arrived in town. Julie races after Jim because he is rushing back to the house to find out what happened to Tabitha. So again, we're picking up after what happened in the season finale in season 1. And, you know, the whole radio signal experiment, I mean, it was kind of a success, maybe. I don't know if that's how we want to classify it. But, you know, the thing is, the more I started to listen to the voice that was on there, you know, on the last episode of season 1.
Who is this?
Your wife shouldn't be digging that hole, Jim.
The more I really started to question and think, like, was that a evil voice? Like, was that person a bad person? Or like, first of all, I don't even know if it's a person. It could be another monster. It could be whatever the boy in white is. I don't know. Maybe it's one of the voices that Sarah's hearing in her head or whatever. I don't know. But I was wondering if they were actually bad, because the first time I saw this in the last season, I was like, oh man, this person's like, Jim, is that you, Jim? Hey, Tabitha shouldn't be doing that. And at first I was like, oh man, these monsters are playing around, they joking, nah, don't trust it. But then again, it wasn't wrong. The voice was not wrong, right? Like, the voice was like, she shouldn't be digging down there. And that, well, you know, as we saw, she shouldn't be digging down there because there's a whole lot of mess under their house. So I'm very curious as to, what do you guys think about the voice that was on the radio? Do you think that it was a bad voice, or could it be a good voice? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. As we go underground, Tabitha is walking with Victor, and despite his constant warnings about the monster sleeping, Tabitha refuses to shut the hell up. Because of the warning from the boy in white, Victor went through the faraway tree and found himself down there with the monsters. As they continued on, Tabitha found items like a suitcase with some clothing. Listen, I cannot tell you how many times I screamed at Tabitha through my TV. I'm like, woman, shut up! Shut up! Are you crazy? You got all these monsters around. You see that? Look, they ain't even got their people face on. Okay, these monsters are out there just naked with they out there raw dogging with their regular faces, and you over here, Victor, why? Victor, where are we? Victor. What? Shut up! You don't see these monsters just laying there? Whoo, she got on my nerves. I'm sorry. Tabitha got on my last nerves. Okay, I understand. Listen, I'm just saying this. Imagine you in that situation. Because I know I was sitting here thinking like, oh, I'm scared. This whole scene had me itchy. Okay, like I just didn't want to be down there at all. And then I'm looking around and there's monsters around there too. Oh, no. You better believe not only am I going to be quiet, I'm probably going to piss my pants too. And that's probably how I'm going to die, because the monster's going to smell my piss and I'm just going to die that way. But one thing I'm not going to do is make a whole lot of noise when I see these monsters just sleeping there. But Tabitha, oh, no. Victor. Shut up. Ma'am, shut up, please.
Where are we going?
Shh, we can't talk. They're close now. You'll wake them.
Anyway, it was actually kind of nice to see, or interesting, I should say, that the boy in white was the one that warned Victor. Now, if you recall in the season finale of season 1, we also saw the boy in white, I guess, telepathically warn Sarah as well. So it seems like the boy in white is not part of the monster crew or whatever. It seems like he's actually trying to help. Like he's I guess a good guy in this situation. So the fact that he told Victor to like show up here and go through the faraway tree, I'm assuming that he knew where the tree was going to take Victor, because Victor said, like, you know, he was waiting there for Tabitha. So, you know, shout out to the boy in white, I guess. On the bus, Elgin wakes up and tells the bus driver to turn around. He's acting erratic, and he then throws up, and the bus has to stop in town. The people on the bus get off, and they all stand right next to the diner. Mr. Chris Not Evans gets back on the bus, being mad at Elgin for throwing up on him. The nurse tends to him while he gets his life together on the bus. You know, watching this scene, I felt some kind of way, especially when that old lady was dancing in the rain, because the whole time I was sitting there thinking like, oh man, you gonna die. Like you don't even know it. You don't, like, they sitting here thinking it's just a regular pit stop. Like apparently, at least given what they've gone through and what they're saying, it doesn't sound like they have gone and done the loops yet. At least not from what I can tell. It doesn't sound like they went round and round and round in the circle yet. And that's going to matter. That will matter later on. But, you know, I feel kind of bad for them, because like, we know that y'all messed up. We know y'all screwed. Right? Like, we know that as an audience, and they just sitting there like, la, 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 okay, pit stop. Oh, a diner, you know, like, so I do feel some kind of way about that. As for Elgin though, you know, the fact that he's, you know, getting sick and, you know, and having that dream or whatever, like at this time, like while he was on the bus, I'm starting to wonder, is he kind of special or more important, you know, compared to like someone like Ethan or Jade or Sarah for that matter. And more importantly, I'm really wondering, what exactly did Elgin see in his dream? I think that's going to be a very important thing that we need to kind of consider down the road, because, you know, people and their dreams and stuff, like a lot of stuff ain't coincidence in this place. But anyway, let's get back to it. Julie finally gets back to the house. Jim finds the hole in their house completely filled in with debris. Both the bus and townspeople go over there to help. At the same time, Donna and Kenny arrive to try and relocate the bus people into the diner. Donna tries to give that straight talk to the bus driver, but she's not going. Back at the colony house, Jade rolls up, some good old Mary Jane, and sees the symbol in blood once again. He also sees a ventriloquist dummy that screams at him. While outside, he tries to calm himself down, and he asks Ethan about the location of Victor's room. Jade rummages through all of Victor's things. Ethan said that this is a quest and everyone has a part to play, including Jade. Jade shows Ethan the symbol and the picture of Victor when he was young on the Polaroid. All right, so Jade is still able to see this symbol and he's still seeing these visions. Now, it's interesting though. I'm wondering why it is that Jade is seeing a vision of something and that thing screams at him. Now, this happened before when he first went and into that cellar type of area, saw like the dead person with the boulder on top of him, and what happened, that dead person turned and looked and screamed at him. So I'm wondering what the connection is with the scream, but something else to consider, this is not the first time that we've seen some sort of connection with Jade's visions and people encountering stuff, also like somewhere down the line. So this ventriloquist dummy, which again, we'll see a little bit later on, has got to have some sort of connection, maybe to the past or some sort of an event that Jade is able to like connect with. Like he's seeing it, he's experiencing it. But these are real things. Now, the last time we saw something like this with a connection and his vision was with the Union soldiers, the Black Union soldier from the Civil War that was attacking him. And, when he saw that vision, that connected with something else that we saw in the season finale. Now, I will put all of that stuff in my season 1 breakdown. So make sure you go watch that season 1 breakdown, even if you've already seen the season, because I'm going to put some things together that I know I didn't catch the first time I watched the show, but the second and third time I watched it, I was able to piece a couple more things together. So make sure you go back and watch that, and you will also see how whenever Jade sees something, it clearly has a connection to something else that other people are going to experience. Then maybe we'll actually get some answers. In the underground, a number of items can be found while the monsters are sleeping. Tabitha still won't shut the hell up. The same dummy that Jade saw was found in the underground as well. It's traumatized Victor when he saw the dummy, and now he was too afraid to move. Tabitha grabs him by the hand and tries to find a way out. The deeper they travel, Tabitha finds a stone Jenga-like structure. A ball comes rolling out of nowhere and knocks it down. Tabitha saw a strange child caged up, but then the monsters started to wake up. Luckily, Victor and Tabitha managed to escape. So a couple things here. One, Tabitha's still getting on people's nerves. I know she's still getting on my nerves because I'm like, lady, if you do not be quiet, I mean, you like learn sign language, something, because this is not the time and place as these monsters are starting to wake up at that. Anyway, not only that, but we also saw the same dummy. Like I said before, the same dummy that Jade was able to see. That is what Tabitha and Victor saw. And here's the key. Victor recognized this dummy. So this dummy has some sort of connection to whatever Victor experienced back when he maybe was a child, because this thing was so scary that it made him cower and he couldn't even move. So now we have to really ask ourselves, like, yo, who had this dummy, or what did this dummy mean? But whatever it is, it's connected to Victor's trauma, and that's going to answer some questions. Now, what I like about this scene is the fact that earlier we saw Jade talk to Ethan. And everything that Jade is telling to Ethan, there's a good chance eventually that Ethan is going to be able to communicate back to Victor or some way, somehow. Because let's be honest, the biggest problem in this show, and I'm talking about within the characters in the story, is that everybody's not coming together. Let me just tell you right now, all these things could be solved if people would just come together and be like, hey man, I had this dream. Let me tell y'all about it. Hey, I heard some voices. Let me tell you about it. You know what? I drew a crazy picture. Can I show y'all? Like, whatever it is, people need to come together. Like, if I was running this town, every day we having a town meeting. Who had something weird happen today? Did you have a vision? Let us know. Oh, you saw a symbol? All right, cool. What happened? Like, what are y'all doing? Y'all know y'all in a weird spot in the first place, and don't nobody want to talk? Anyway, I'm sorry. That's just my little frustration right there. But either way, this dummy has some sort of connection to Victor. Now it's to Jade, and it's got to be probably a small piece to the overall story. So we'll have to wait and see where that goes. Now, as for Tabitha, she was able to see that Jenga thing, and we don't know what that is. Like who built it? Like what was going on? Now, what was interesting about this scene was that the ball came rolling out of this caged area or whatever, and it knocked over the rocks, and it startled not only Tabitha, but also Victor, which means that thing actually existed. Because at first I was thinking it was a vision. I thought that Tabitha was the only one that saw it, but no, Victor reacted to it too. But at the same time, Victor's also nuts. He also sees vision. So could this be a shared vision, or was that thing actually there for real? And if it was there for real, who threw that ball? Because when Tabitha looked and saw the little cage area and saw that weird little kid that ain't eaten like a couple days, like that right there, it disappeared. So did something throw that ball? Who threw the ball? Something was not sleep. Okay. Something was not sleep, or that was a vision. I don't know. There's a lot going on right now, but I just have questions. And another question is, why do these monsters even have little cages set up down there? What exactly are they catching and holding prisoner down there? I don't know, because you would think that they were just like eat people and that's all they do. But apparently these monsters, I'm assuming first of all that they're collecting these items, maybe because they like human beings, maybe because they're fascinated by humans, maybe because they used to be humans. Who knows? But I am very curious as to like who or what exactly were they keeping in those jail cells? Are they kidnapping children? Are they doing something to kids? Like, what is this? So many questions, but let's continue. At the Matthews house, the more they dig, the more the house starts to come down. At the same time, Elgin starts to have a seizure. Jim refuses to leave as the house collapses on itself, trapping him and the others inside. When others came to the rescue, only Chris, not Evans, managed to get out of the rubble. With the house being unstable and with daylight running out, Jim told everyone to leave them in the rubble until morning. Nearby, Christy tends to some of the wounded people until she locks eyes with the nurse. They both start crying and embrace each other. The bus driver starts the bus up again. Donna warns them again that things are going to get real bad when the sun goes down. The driver still resists, so Donna takes a shotgun and blows them tires out. Kenny shoots in the air, and some of the bus people run away and scatter, but most of them go into the diner. All right, so a couple of things here. Jim was right. Jim was absolutely right to leave them under the rubble because it kind of makes sense, right? Like, you don't know what you're going to touch, what you're going to pull, if it's going to collapse everything else in the house, and it could just kill them too. Like, you have no idea with such an unstable thing, and daylight is running out. And you don't have enough time to grab them, pull them out, and escape the monsters. Not to mention, like, you don't want to let the monsters know that they are there under the rubble and, hiding. And that's actually a good thing, too, because don't forget, and Donna mentioned this, too, a lot of them used to survive by hiding from the monsters. It's not just having a talisman handy that protects people. You could just hide and wait, until dawn, and you'll be fine as well. So Jim definitely made the best choice here. I do have some problems with the bus driver. The bus driver is like sitting here like, she's like, y'all need to call 911. That ain't my problem. Get somebody else to do it. It's not my issue. But here's the thing. as frustrating, now it's frustrating for us, right? Because we know Donna is right? We understand Donna is just trying to help. We get that, but we also have to understand that everything they saying don't make a lick of sense. If you walked in some random little town and you saw some random people coming to tell you, you better stay here or else you're going to die. Like, you'd be like, wait a minute, hold on. Let me just drive out. Remember, they have not made the loops yet. So they don't have the weird factor checked in. And this is something that it kind of makes you appreciate when Boyd was running the town. When he was there, he was the one that would initiate people. Remember, Sarah called that process kind of cruel, to have people go in a loop multiple times. Well, yes, it's cruel, but at the same time, it gets people a little bit easier to receive the fact that you're in a weird place and nothing is about to make sense. So these bus people don't have that. They didn't have that weird situation that the Matthews family had in the RV. They just came in and was like, man, we could just leave. And y'all are crazy. You know, that's how they're thinking it right now. And also think about this. Donna is not like the leader of the town. That's not her role. She's been in the town longer than Boyd has. The town didn't even start to have structure until Boyd came through and he was like, all right, you know, we gonna get the resources here. We gonna have this here. And then that's when they separated and then did Colony House, and then they had the town or whatever. So this is not Donna's lane. Now, I love Donna in terms of how she just keep it 100, tell you what's going down, and that's it. But she also doesn't realize that doesn't work for everybody. You know, it definitely doesn't work for a large group of people either. So, you know, Donna gonna do what she know what to do. Pop, pop, you know, take that shotgun. Y'all not going nowhere. Get your butts in there. We just gonna have to hash this out. You know, again, she a straight shooter, and that's how she gonna handle things. But again, it does kind of make you appreciate how Boyd also had a whole system to make sure everyone is together. Now, with that said, whoo, man, Christy meeting her fiance, good for them. Right? Good for them. I was very happy. Like, yo, you know, you miss somebody. I forget how long Christy was gone. I think it was like 6 months or something like that. And she hadn't seen her fiance in all that time. So clearly, you know, it's always great when you're in a jacked up situation and then all of a sudden you see a friendly face, a loving face, right? But now I got more questions, because now I'm sitting here thinking like, out of all the people in the world that can get caught up in this whatever vacuum portal dimension, whatever, your fiance gonna be one of them people on that bus? Out of all these people, just so happened, I don't know. It's a little too convenient. It just don't smell too right to me. That's all I'm saying. And my goodness, I gotta say this too. Poor Kenny. Poor Kenny. I mean, this is a guy, he had to deal with his daddy having dementia. That in itself is tough, okay? That is tough. Then he had to deal with his daddy being killed by the monsters. That's tough. Then you had to shoot your shot with Christy. She kind of put you in the friend zone. Then she put you back, you know? She was like, yeah, I'll go to Iceland with you. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, out of all these random people, her fiance shows up. Now you really out of luck. Oh, Kenny. I don't know. Like, just, Kenny can't win. He just can't win. Anyway, let's wrap this up. Checking back in with Boyd, the voice says that it can help and tosses a rope down for him to climb. As he climbs up, he sees a vision of Ellis below. Boyd gets out and sees a man chained to the wall. He asks Boyd to kill him.
I need you to kill me.
Oh, man. Okay, so now Boyd is seeing visions too. Like, he about to lose his mind also. And I mean, like, who is this guy chained to the wall like this? Like, where is he? Now, judging from what we can see in this situation, obviously this guy, whoever's on the wall, is being held captive and possibly being tortured. I mean, if the first thing you say to someone who is like alive and possibly there to rescue you is to kill you, oh, you've been through some things, you know, like that's not That's not normal. Like, you have found out that life is not worth living and you just want to go. So clearly now the question is, who or what has captured this guy, and who or what has tortured him to that point? Oh, I don't know. This is how we are left with more questions than answers. Now look, in the season finale, we heard voices talking to Sarah, right? And whatever was talking to her, or whoever was talking to her, they had mentioned that whatever was outside of the town was far worse than what was inside the town. So I'm really wondering if, like, whoever is holding this old guy captive, are they the things or people that are far worse? I don't know, but I guess we're going to have to find out. Anyway, so this is the point in time where I get to rate this whole episode. I would say this, like, when it comes to the rating, this episode definitely kept me locked in. So it's definitely adding the suspense. It's adding to the mystery. It's got me wondering and asking more questions. And I do want to see what happens next. I'm starting to see some more connections happen. But I think that when it comes to the rating, I'm going to have to give this an 8 out of 10. I liked it. I really did enjoy it. But I'm more curious, what did you guys rate this episode on a scale from 1 to 10? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Now, as for the major clues that we need to keep track of. So again, these are the clues that I think, as long as we keep these things in mind, it will help us figure stuff out later in the series. So the first clue that I'm wondering about is what the colony girl said to Jade earlier on. She had said, like, do you think we made something angry because the storm came out of nowhere? Now, this leads into probably one of the biggest clues that was also shared with us in the season finale by the boy in white. And that is that Nathan, Sarah's brother, had a theory about this whole place, which said basically, you know, the more you push, the more it's going to push back. And the boy in white had basically said that this place, you made it angry. You made it angry, and that's when it responded with the storm. So apparently, wherever they are, whatever place they are, this place is potentially alive. I don't know what to do with that, but it's potentially alive, you know. But so if you try to escape, or if you try to build radio tower to escape or whatever, this place is going to get mad, which gives me another impression that this place has a conscious. It has a consciousness. Like, it thinks, it feels, it reacts. Does that mean we can communicate with it? You know, I don't know. I mean, I guess that it barely even answers the question of, like, where power comes from or whatever. But the fact that this place thinks and feels is definitely something I guess we have to keep in mind. The next thing that we have to keep in mind is, and I've been saying this for the longest, Ethan. Ethan said that a quest can be scary, but it's when you get to the end of the quest that it will get really scary. I think Ethan is just forecasting exactly what's going to happen at the end of this series. And think about it like this. If this is a quest, the only person that's been on the real quest is Boyd. And guess what? Every time Boyd goes out somewhere, it gets scarier, or it gets more dangerous. So Ethan is right. Once again, another clue from Ethan, symbols. When he was talking to Jade, he had talked about how symbols are important, but you have to figure out if the symbols are good or bad. And then he also added, symbols can make you do bad things. So I don't know what that means. I don't know where it means. The only symbol we've seen so far is the one that Jade keeps seeing. But one way or another, we got to figure out if it's good or bad. I mean, the fact that it's painted in blood and every time we see it, it's connected to something scary or death, I'm guessing it's not good. But we will have to wait and see. But anyway, that is all I have for today in this episode. What did you think about season 2, episode 1 of From? Please let me know what you think in the comments down below. Y'all, we're going to have to figure this thing out one way or another. Don't worry, I got more breakdowns, so please stay tuned. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. I got interviews and other things coming up, or you can go check out the old ones that I've already done. But outside of that, I will see y'all next time. Peace.